Hello, yogis. Let me do the thing where I push all the buttons. Excellent. Okay, wild and crazy. A couple minutes late. So sorry. It's just Saturday. Sometimes you gotta enjoy your morning a little. So I got a nice cup of coffee. Getting ready for a little movement. I was actually asking my husband, I was like, what should I do in my class today? So I was making him name poses and be cool. Do you want to come say hi? Come on. I got Callie with me this morning. And so hey, what's going on? What's shaking? How's your day going? We've got a little rainy Saturday, which is nice. Means we don't have to water. Keeps things growing nice and green. So good. So this morning is a yoga class. If you're wondering what's going on, it's what's happening every morning, except for Sundays, because I take a day off to enjoy and do my own thing. Oh, who do we got there this morning? Hello, Doreen. Oh, husband is joining. Nice. I was trying to convince my husband to join as well, but he had a pretty rough week. Oh, my mom made it too. Good morning, Mommy. That's why Callie came on screen, was to say hi to you. She's gone now, though. Exciting things. So yes, let's do a little yoga this morning. So if you have any pose requests for the class today, if there's an area of your body you want to work on, just throw it in the comments and I'll try to include it in. Oh, something kind of funny on my neck, but that's okay. I'll stretch it out, we'll move, it'll be great. Lots of fun. I just applied some oils to my neck, so I'll just rub that in. So yes, good morning. Just kind of giving it a few minutes for people to join in and see what's happening here. But if you want to start getting into a position that you can feel comfortable in, you're more than welcome to start seated. Even if you don't want to be seated on the ground yet, that's fine. Sitting on a block, I've talked about lots, opens up the low back, opens up the hips. Is a great option, or even laying down. So if you want to start laying down, if I'm teaching in a studio, it's pretty much how 99% of people start, is laying down. They come into class and they just kind of get their zen on, start to focus in on just what's happening on their mat, and take that little journey, that little dive inward. And so even though you're not in a physical studio, we've got the home studio happening. I think that's still an important practice to keep and to maintain, is just check it in with the body. Going through that checklist of like, hey, is that brain always just reacting? Go. Can we start to slow things down? Can we start to heal a little bit and actually process through some stuff? Whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally, there's kind of a lot to go through and do. And if we never give our body time, then you're just always in that high strung, super stress mode, and it starts to really impact the body. If you have cortisol, which is the stress hormone, flowing through you all the time, so if you only get like a couple hours of sleep every night and you are super active and busy and don't rest at all, it really starts to tax the body and can manifest in different ways, from headaches to physically getting sick. You don't start to process things as well, because that part of the brain, prefrontal cortex, is overstimulated. It does all of the responses. But anyways, I could go off on the science of it. I feel like I'm getting a little too nerdy, so we'll just rein it back in. Either way, taking a few moments to simply rest and breathe and scan and notice. Just becoming aware is so beneficial for the body. And so we start out our class by rolling those shoulders back and down. So whatever position you found yourself in, take a little moment, lift the heart, create that little bit of space. And then let's take a big breath in. Take a nice big inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale, let it out. Let's take one more of those, breathing in through the nose. Nice and big. See if you can start to breathe into that diaphragm, into that belly, and exhale, let side out. So good. Love that. So maybe you keep taking those big, giant breaths. The exhale is also really powerful. You can start to let go of some of that tension. And so if you're noticing your shoulders are really tight, take that big exhale and focus it on your shoulders and softening. And see if you can start to let it go that way. as you're scanning through the body and maybe starting to notice, or maybe not notice, that's okay too if it's a work in progress. And then you want to set a little intention for today's class. What brings you to your mat today? Maybe your wife forced you to. Maybe you are just a little desperate for some movement and some stretching. Maybe you're just checking fitness off the list, or maybe there's something more you're looking for to have joy through the poses and practice. Whatever it may be, let it be true for you. Maybe you repeat it once or twice within. And let's seal it in with a nice big breath. So breathing in as big as you possibly can. Feel the whole body lift and lengthen as you inhale, and exhale. Soften and relax. And start to wake up the body. Little wiggle into fingers and toes. Maybe start to roll wrists and ankles. Maybe you roll your neck gently back and forth. So good. Then, if you're in a seated position, let's roll on down onto the mat. And getting ready to start off. Good old Saturdays. I love my flow classes. I've got a little formula to them, like we always do. A little bit of core in them. A little bit of reclined positions and twisting. Some seated, all fours, and standing. It's an adventure. Lots of fun. So as you're laying down, I like to start with my knees bent. That pushes my low back in towards the mat. And let's just take that good morning stretch. So reaching those arms up overhead. Take a nice big inhale. See if you can get a little bit taller. Really reach as tall as possible. Feel that stretch all the way through the ribs. Reach that crown of the head a little bit higher. And exhale, just drop the arms. Let it all go. If you want, let's take one more of those. Nice big inhale breath, reaching up. If you want a little more, maybe now you're ready to extend the legs long, maybe even point through the toes, reaching up so nice and tall. Feel that front body really open up as you point through the toes and reach. Keep reaching, keep lengthening, and exhale. Relax things down. Just take it easy. Let's bring the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in. Take that nice little rock from side to side. Low back gets a nice little massage here. Shoulder gets a nice little massage. Feels good all the way through. Is that Donna as well? Good morning, Donna. Look at this. It's a yoga party. How fun. I love this. So good. Beautiful. All right, that's fine. Our stillness. And just holding on to the knees. Roll those shoulders back and down. Feel that low back still connecting in. And let's just come into some knee circles. So your option to do both knees together, same direction, or if you feel like going opposite directions, really your choice. However you want to do this little movement, little motion, you can do it holding on to the legs. That's the most gentle version of this. If you're looking for a little more, if you want to fire up those hip flexors and those lower abdominals, you can bring the arms alongside the body. Maybe you want to play around doing a couple opposite directions or a couple together. If you're doing the opposite directions, you're kind of limited with the core work, but that's okay because you're still rotating that femoral head into the hip joint, waking up the hips. If you're going around in circles, knees locking together, you have the option to really extend the legs, really hug them in towards the body. This will start to use more of those obliques, those lower abdominals as well. Feels more like a little twist. Like I said, it doesn't particularly matter. We'll end up doing both versions. So if you're going one way, let's switch. Go the opposite way. Just starting to feel a little bit of warmth, a little bit of warm up, a little bit of movement. I'm going to switch back to opposite knees. Feels so good. Feeling things wake up. Excellent. Try to keep that chin nice and tucked. Sometimes as we kind of get moving, our gaze starts to go back and we end up high up on the top of our head, which is overarching through the neck here. So as you keep that chin tucked, you're keeping that length. It's better for your spine health. All right, let's bring the knees in, give them a nice big hug and squeeze. And then send the feet up towards the ceiling. So you can hold on to the backs of the knees. Knees can be nice and bent here. No expectation that the legs go straight. It's really just starting to get into the hamstrings. So starting to wake up that side of the body. You can flex through the toes, extending through the heel, and to accentuate that, really pushing those heels up, finding that edge. I love to refer to the edge. It's that space in yoga where it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Like, that's a really healthy place to be. But if it transitions to painful, then you've gone a little too far. So it's that awareness of, is this easy? Is this challenging? Is this uncomfortably challenging? Or is this painful? I feel like that's kind of the scale that happens. So keep pressing those heels up. Let's point and flex through the feet. Just working on some ankle and some foot health. If you want a little more from this, you can bring the arms down. So just using the hip flexors to keep the legs up in the air. Feeling that core engage. Whenever you're engaging through the core, if you pull that belly button in towards the spine to stabilize, that'll actually engage the muscles. Whereas what might be really common, I'm going to do ankle circles now, switching it up. Lots of times we'll push the belly out to stabilize. So if you're newer to using those core muscles, just check in with yourself, see, are you pushing out to stabilize? Take a little moment, stop, maybe even make it a little easier. Pull the belly button in and then go back into that engagement. So now my circles are going the other way with my ankles. Might really be feeling that through the hip flexors if you have your arms down. Some people find this really easy. I actually find this particularly challenging. Just hanging out with my feet up really kind of uses those hip flexors. All right, let's bend the knees, plant the feet in towards the mat, walk those heels in nice and close into those sits bones. And connecting in with the breath, let's take a nice big inhale and lengthen. Get nice and tall and press the shoulders in towards the mat, press the low back in towards the mat. Feel how there's that little tuck of the pelvis of the tailbone kind of tucks under. Exhale, engage. Pull the belly button in. And on that next inhale, still continue to lengthen. And on the exhale, press the feet down to lift the hips up. Coming into your nice bridge pose. Maybe starting out at like 30 to 50% and keep things pretty relaxed right off the bat here. Maybe you tuck those shoulders under. Maybe you reach the hands down for the heels. You might even touch the heels with one of your fingers, or maybe you can really grab on. Take a nice big inhale. Remembering to breathe. And on that exhale, let's engage a little more. Let's squeeze those glutes together. Let's lift those hips up. Maybe coming to that 70, 80, maybe even 90%. You're starting to find that max line. If you want a little more through this, imagine rolling a little higher up onto the shoulder blades, really pressing the shoulders in, lifting and opening up through the heart. Excellent. Take a nice big breath, remembering to breathe here, and exhale. Keep engaging nice and strong. If you want to make this a little bit easier, you can really press the arms in. That'll take a little pressure off the legs, off the glutes. But if you keep those nice and engaged, start to feel all of that opening. Beautiful. Let's roll down nice and slow, using that exhale to guide us. Really lengthening this, so going one vertebrae at a time, letting the body just melt in towards the mat. I'm extra chatty today, so sorry if it feels like I'm talking 100 miles a minute. I'm just really excited. My coffee's kicked in. I guess that's what it was. All right, let's take that nice big inhale and lengthen. And exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine. And press the hips up. Maybe you're starting off more of that 50 to 60% now, finding a little bit more strength. Make sure you're keeping the knees in line with the hips, in line with the feet, so not splaying open here as you stack things. You'll find some more stabilizing, some more ease in that. You can interlace the hands underneath the sits bones and actively pull down. Feel how that opens up through the collarbone. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale, nice and strong. Maybe those hips come up another millimeter, maybe another inch, anywhere in there. Feeling that strength of the legs. And can you squeeze the toes in towards the mat, being aware of the feet? Can you really press the heels in nice and strong? Let's rock into heels and toes, so shifting the weight into the toes, lifting the heels up and off the ground, and then rolling the foot back down, lifting the toes up, pressing extra into the heels. So see if you can start to notice which muscles are engaging as you rock back and forth. Keep pressing those hips up to feel that all the way through. Excellent. So as you press into the toes, you're using more of the front body, so you'll feel that through the quads. As you press into the heels, it's more of the glutes working. Excellent. Let's take just a few more. And come back to your stillness of the feet. Release the hands and let's roll down nice and slow. Really slowing this one down. Just coming down. See if you can almost count the vertebrae as they press in. So good. I love starting with a little bridge pose. It's a nice back bend, as well as a gentle way to warm up through the legs and through the core. So let's just take one more of those. Take that big inhale breath. Take that exhale to engage everything. Pull that in. And then pressing into the feet. Your choice here, so you can hang out really easy. You can even go for a supported bridge, bringing either your block or fist underneath that little sacrum area, underneath the pelvis. Or if you want to go gusto with me, you can really press those hips up. Maybe you reach down for the feet. Imagine lifting up the heart, pressing the shoulders in. Keep that chin nice and tucked. Don't let that neck wiggle around. Keep it nice and stable. And maybe you even find your max. Really pressing the hips up, really squeezing through the glutes. Feeling so strong here. Excellent, so nice, so good. I'm gonna come up onto my tippy toes and bring my feet in a little closer. A, just so I can get a little more height. B, just so I can work through my quads a little more. I'm feeling they're pretty tight, so I'm wanting that engagement. I've got my hands interlaced, really pressing my hips up. Oh, so nice and strong. And let's slowly start to release. Come on back down. You can bring your heels down, whatever works best. Let's take a little windshield wiper, dropping the knees from side to side. Feeling that little release. So good. Connecting in. So my question for you this morning, I think I have many questions today. But the first one is, how's your ego doing? And did you feel like you had to hit your max? Were you trying to compete with yourself? With someone else? With your own expectations? With me even? Trying to hold it the whole time and maybe you knew you needed to come down? Can you check your ego off your mat? And just enjoy the practice and the movements for how you're doing in this precise moment. All right, let's come back to a little stillness. And then let's bring the knees hovering over the hips. Most gentle version is feet nice and relaxed. If you want a little more, you can bring the feet to that 90 degrees. And even more so is starting to straighten the legs. Wherever you want to be within there is totally your choice. You can even switch between a few. And we'll just do a couple of little toe taps or heel taps, just touching one foot down and then the next. So you can do this really close to the body to keep this nice and gentle, nice and easy. Or you can do the full leg lift version. You can do it nice and slow, connecting in with the breath. And if you really want, you can get that heart pumping, getting a little cardio in. You can start to speed things up, moving through however you want. I love these, mostly because there's so many options and varieties and ways to take them. So feel that pumping. Keep that low back pressing in and core pulling inwards. Check in with yourself, see if that belly is pushing outwards. What'll often happen as it starts to get hard, so even if you take that little moment, reset, tuck the pelvis, quick exhale to pull the core in, and then right back into your movements. Whatever it is, let it be good. You can even do slightly more of the bicycle if you'd rather just hang out like this. I don't know, it's a great lower core, great hip flexor move. Feels so good. If you want to get into that upper core as you're moving through here, yeah, this is our core work, so we'll just get it done. Then you don't have to come back to it later, but if you want to get into it, interlace the hands under the head, hold the head and the shoulders up. And then keep going with that movement. That gets those upper abdominals working. It gets into those middle ones. These ones I find harder to do the full leg lifts. I guess you still can. I find them harder though. Got a little tummy that gets in the way, so I prefer these ones. Still working hard though. All right, let's do 5 full breaths here. So whether you're moving slow, whether you're moving quick, here's our check-in. You need to make it easier. All right, let's go for 4. Nice big inhale and an exhale. And 3, breathing in. Letting it go. 2 more breaths, breathing in. Nice controlled exhale. Last one, big inhale breath. Hold it in and exhale. Nice and slow. Keep going right to the end of that exhale. And lower things down. Drop the head down, drop the feet. Take that little windshield wiper to release. Great job. I know we did these for a bit. Feel like I'm missing out on all my core work. I've been tired in the evening, so I haven't been doing my own exercises. So you all get to suffer with me today. But that's it. We got it done. Feels so good. Let's find our stillness. Let's bring the arms out nice and wide like that T position. Hover the knees over the hips and just drop the legs down towards one side. I'm going for the left. My gaze is going opposite of my legs. I'm trying to keep that opposite shoulder glued in. Just a nice little twist. You can bring that hand on top of the legs. Just adding the weight in and deepening the twist ever so gently. Take a nice big inhale. See if you can lengthen. Exhale. See if you can soften. Connect again with that breath. Let's return the head to neutral if you're looking a certain direction. Release the hand. Swing the legs all the way up. Then over towards the other side. Drop them down. Gaze can go opposite of the legs. Even if your knees don't come all the way down, that's not the expectation. My taught me, like I have enough space here that I can tuck a block right in between my legs. As you're working on that openness, or maybe you bring a block underneath both of the legs. Take that big inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, maybe you deepen, maybe you soften. Let it feel really good. So nice. Beautiful. Return the neck to neutral. Release the legs, bring the legs back up. Hug the knees in towards the chest. If you want, you can round into that tiny little ball. Bring the head up. Squeezing everything together. I love this mostly for the journey back down. Lowering the head back down. We're going to make our way up to seated, so whether you want to roll onto one side to do so, or take a couple rock and rolls, massaging that spine. And coming up, rolling back down. So good. I'm going to take one more. Having fun. Nice. Making our way up to seated. Sitting nice and tall. I see a long message. Oh, Karina! You're the best. Yes. Little reminder, because yoga and our egos really interesting. I feel like a tangent's coming on. Well, let's get into our seated position first. Whatever works best for you. I'm doing ankle in front of ankle. I usually stack. I'm just adding a little variety. And if it hurts to bend your knees, try sitting on a book or a block, or even a pot. Flipping a pot upside down is a great yoga prop if you don't have anything at home. Wherever you are, roll your shoulders back and down. Take that nice big inhale breath, get nice and tall. Exhale, engage the core, pull the belly button in towards the spine. And let's just work with that little bit of breath. So take the inhale and lengthen. Get really, really tall. Notice how the ribs will probably puff out. You might have a little arch to the back, a little back bend. And exhale, just pull everything in nice and strong. One more of those, big inhale. And that exhale. Bring it all in. So notice how your inhale switched over to the softening as that exhale was that strong and engaging. Let's add the arms in here. Bring the arms up on that inhale breath, reaching up nice and tall. Exhale, pull the hands down. We're going to do about 10 of these. So just warming up, pulling it through. If you want to just keep it really simple, you can just be arms up, arms to heart. If you want to add a little more, maybe start to look up, maybe start to look back, adding that back bend, then the little bow in, kind of like a seated cat-cow. So your choice as we move through here. I feel like we've already done like 5 or 6, so I don't have time to do my tangent now. We'll get to it. It's so fun. So good. Beautiful. Feeling that connection, feeling that breath. Maybe things are getting a little sparkly as you're moving with the breath. And let's reach up and hold. And coming into that stillness, I'm going to come into almost like that swimmer's one where I have palms facing forward but stacking palms together and interlacing hands. Reaching up nice and tall. You just got to add some variety with how you reach your hands up. Notice which hand is in front, which hand is behind. Keep pulling those ribs in as you're reaching those arms up, and let's tip over towards the left. Reach, reach, reach. And so nice and tall, maybe even squeeze the ears gently with the arms. Feel that core engaged. Let's come on back up. Nice big inhale breath and over towards the other side. And pressing into the legs. And keep reaching. Keep spinning that top shoulder open. Let's come on back up. Let's switch the hands to now opposite one in front or in top. Keep reaching up nice and strong. Go over towards the left. Press into the legs. Feel that engagement. So you're so strong here. It's not just the arms tipping over, but it's the legs and the core and the back. Let's come on back up. Reach it up nice and tall and over towards the right. So good. Keep reaching. Feel that engagement. Find that edge. And let's come on back up. Release the hands. And just bring the hands forward, coming into a nice forward fold, bowing it down. You can drop the head. You could even round into it if you want. Your choice. Rounding in through the spine, releasing. Or if you want to roll those shoulders back and down. Keeping that nice engagement. Really, it's whatever feels best on your shoulders and on your back. Feel that nice connection with the breath. Take a nice big inhale, breathe it in. Nice full exhale, soften. Press into those hands, start to come back up to seated. Sitting up nice and tall. Now let's switch the feet, opposite foot in front or in on top, however you're sitting. Just switch it up a little bit. Work with that non-dominant side. Roll those shoulders back and down. Extend long through the crown of the head. And inhale. Just take a few of these here. Reach it up. Exhale. Pull the hands through. If you want a little more, really press your arms out right from the bottom. And then imagine that resistance as you forcefully try to bring those arms all the way up. Bring the hands to touch and press into the palms. Bring the hands down. Big exhale. 2 more of those real big, intentional, strong reach ups. Pull it down. This gets into the ribs, gets into the side body, gets into the arms and the shoulders. Hands come in. So good. Hands at heart center. Let's twist towards the left. So take a moment, get nice and tall. Engage through that core. Then let's start to twist on over. Just feeling that rotation of the shoulder. Left shoulder starts to drop backwards, right shoulder presses forwards. Then drop the hands down. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, maybe twist a little deeper using those hands as anchors. You can adjust the hands as you spin around. Maybe the gaze just goes over that left shoulder to deepen, or maybe you really press into those legs, feeling that twist all the way through the hips, all the way to the crown of the head. One more nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. Last breath in. And on that exhale, let's release. Come on back to center. Bring the hands in. Nice and strong. Lengthen. Core is engaged. And let's twist over towards the right. Coming on through. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, keep pressing those shoulders in opposite directions. Twist around. You can drop those hands down. Inhale and lengthen. Find that height. Exhale, then deepen. Gazing over that back shoulder. Feeling that nice rotation all the way through the spine. Nice big inhale breath. Exhale, maybe you deepen ever so slightly, feeling that rotation all the way on those internal organs, spinning around, getting a nice big squeeze. They get a little love in this. And on the next exhale, nice and slow. Let's release it back towards center. Breathe hands in at heart. And just start to bow forward, this time with a nice flat back. So shoulders are rolled back and down. Just taking that little bow, that little journey. Maybe the elbows connect in with the legs. Or maybe you just bring your hands down in front, wherever you're at. I like the hands down in front because then you can create that little pull sensation, which actually helps you get a little taller. A little nice stretch through the spine, through the back. And then you can walk your hands, keeping that pull sensation, maybe as you deepen. Coming down. Find your edge. Find that area. Maybe you come all the way down. Who knows? You can still tuck your chin here without rounding through the shoulders. So it's just bringing the chin in towards the chest so you can lengthen through the crown of the head. Nice big inhale. Breathing in. Exhale. Maybe you soften. Letting go of some of that tension through the hips, through the low back. So good. All right, let's start to press our hands now, creating that opposite motion as we start to slowly, inch by inch, press ourselves back up. Every time you touch your hand down, create that little push motion. And you feel that little resistance through more of the sides of the body. And coming all the way back up. So good. Let's come into all fours, into our tabletop position. So maybe you roll right over into it. Planting knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Real quick, we'll just do a couple cat-cows, mostly because I'm addicted to them. So inhales to look up, drop the belly down. Really press into your hands here. See if you can lengthen through the crown of the head. Huge back bend. Exhale, start to tuck the chin, round through the spine, press the back up as much as you can. Feel that little extra by pressing into the hands, a little extra through the shoulders. Inhales to look up. Exhales to round. Moving at your own pace, your own breath. Oh, so good. I don't know why I love these so much. These used to annoy me. Why do you have to do them every class? It's so silly. Why does every instructor incorporate them? Because they're super healthy for your spine. That's why. All right, find your stillness. Nice flat table. Really good. Let's bring the knees nice and wide. Walk them out. And sit back. Take a nice little child's pose. Reach those hands forward. Drop the head down. So even if you're up nice and high, that still counts as a child's pose. You can be anywhere between over the knees and down on the ankles. Just depends on your own body, on your hip flexors. So good. I love this in my restorative poses with the sandbag on the low back. So if you've got kids at home, try to convince your kids to sit there. It'll feel delightful. Haven't quite trained my dog to do so. Can't see it, but she's passed her right out just off camera. Connecting in, remembering that intention. All right, let's press into the hands, starting to come on up. And bring those knees back to a more neutral position. And tuck the toes under. Let's press right into a downward dog. Just as I wardrobe adjust here. So arms are nice and extended. So you're not hunching in through the shoulders. Nothing crazy here. See if you can take a little moment, bend the knees, press into those hands, keeping that same position that you had in that child's pose. And then you can start to lengthen through the legs. Lifting those hips up nice and high. Keep pressing the hips up. You can pedal out the feet. Getting a nice calf stretch, maybe a nice ankle stretch. So good. Okay, option here to hold your downward dog, or even go back into child's pose if you require. Or we can take a little flow. So we're rolling into our plank position. Here's our most gentle variation. You can drop the knees down. Exhale, lower down onto your belly by letting the elbows graze the ribs, so keep everything pulled in. Lower all the way down. Inhale, take a little back bend. Press gently into the hands, extend the head nice and long. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Little baby cobra pose. And then you press into your tabletop, coming back up. Maybe you reach and extend it through, coming back into your downward dog. So that's our most gentle flow. You can build it up anywhere from there. So let's take another one. And coming into your plank. Nice and strong. Lowering down. You can do the chaturanga, which is the little yoga push-up. Lowering down. Pressing out. Maybe come up a little higher into your full cobra or even your up dog. And then maybe you roll right over the toes. Pushing right into the downward dog. Skipping the through tabletop, but still ending up in downward dog. Beautiful. Nice big inhale. Exhale, nice and strong. Let's look towards the front of the mat. Hop, step, jump, or tiptoe. Into a forward fold. Taking a little moment here in a nice recovery position. Head is below the heart, so it makes this a recovery position. I've been enjoying just kind of bending a knee and straightening it. A gentle way to get into the hamstrings. Knees can be really bent in your forward fold. There's no expectation that they're straight. We have these things called knees for a purpose. They're a hinge joint, so their whole purpose is just a straight up bend. So in so many sports and activities, we've been taught straight legs, point the toes, don't bend the knees. But then we have lots of hyperextension through the knees. So if you're doing that right now, if you're really overextending through the back of the knee, imagine lifting the kneecaps. That'll bring a gentle bend in, help protect all of those muscles that run along the knee. All right, let's inhale, halfway lift. Roll those shoulders back and down. Maybe you're pressing into the legs to help lengthen through the crown of the head. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Extend nice and tall. Maybe you sweep those arms up if you want a little more. Nice little chair pose. Let's take 3 pulses. And coming up slightly. Exhale, going down as deep as you want. Sinking it low. Coming back up. Reach it up nice and tall. Exhale. Nice and strong. Press them back up. Last one, going down. Feel that strength. Then press into the feet. Come all the way up. Reach up so nice and tall. Exhale. Pull the hands to heart. Press into those hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, lengthen through the crown of the head. Being aware of the feet, squeezing the toes in towards the mat. Excellent. Let's shift our weight to the left foot, lifting up the right leg. And just bringing it up and forward, working on a little bit of balance here. If you need to imagine holding on to something, always imagine a little railing. That might help you balance. And notice as your hips sticking up, and can you balance out the hips? Pressing firm into that standing leg. So good. Excellent. Start to send this right leg back behind us. And let's land it in a warrior 2 position. So, toes point towards the long edge of the mat. Left toe is still pointing forward. The right toe is pointing outwards. And usually if your left heel is kind of in line with your arch of your right foot, that traditionally has been the best quote-unquote position for your warrior 2, but having the feet more in line really works well. Let's bring those arms out, reach out nice and strong. Let's bend into that left knee, feeling that depth. Press into the feet, nice and strong. Take a nice big inhale and lengthen. Exhale, pull that core in. Beautiful. Feel that nice engagement. Let's bring elbow down to knee. Reach that right arm up. And if your shoulder is sore, you can always do hand on hip. hand can be up. If you want a little more, hand can go overhead. Really reaching, creating that beautiful extended side angle. And if you want more still, that left elbow can start to become a little more weightless, not putting as much pressure in it, even bringing it to the inside of the leg, maybe even reaching down. This is a great opportunity for a block if you can't reach the ground. It's nice because you get that feedback through that left shoulder and arm, helping you stack shoulder over shoulder. Excellent. Let's press into the feet, using that as our strength. Let's come on back up to our warrior two. Let's give that front leg a little break, straightening through the leg. Reach on up, nice and strong. Exhale, let's sink back into our warrior. Come on down. We'll take 3 of these little pulses. Inhale up, lengthening. Exhale, come on down. Let's come back up. Let's take one more because they're so good. Beautiful, sinking into that warrior two. Let's do a little triangle pose. So straighten through that right leg, not left leg. And kick the hip out towards the right. And reach that left arm forward. So the main goal here is reaching left hand, adding the side bend in through the right. That's all that's happening. Keep reaching forward until you can't anymore. And then press into the feet. Maybe you get another little inch or millimeter. Then you can drop. Left hand down to wherever it reaches on the leg. Right arm can go up. There can be a gentle bend to that left knee, or you can really try to press it straight. Whatever works for your hamstring, let it be good. Extend the head nice and long. Excellent. Keep reaching nice and tall. Let's add a little twist in here. So this top arm, this right arm, let's start to bring it down, aligning the shoulders towards the front of the mat. Maybe you come up a little bit higher. Keep pressing into the feet. Keep feeling that little rotation through the hip. So your option 1, most gentle. Knee is slightly bent. Maybe the hands pressing in. Maybe you grab your block if you have one, or your soup pan, soup pot. Maybe your right hand presses in. And if you want more, maybe you start to really twist. Left hand starts to journey up. So if you don't have a block, you can always use your leg to prop, but I like having a little bit of space between my hand and my leg. Makes it a little easier to twist and reach it up. Excellent. Let's exhale. Lower that hand back down. You know, my prop off to the side. Let's come out of this nice and safely. Bring a bend to that left knee and sweep that right arm all the way up. Oh, look, we're back in extended side angle. How fun. Look at that. All right, come on back up. Reach it up. Exhale. Relax the hands, hands to heart. And let's step towards the top of the mat. So maybe you heel toe that back foot in a little bit closer so that you can nice and safely step towards the top. Inhale, reach it up nice and tall. Take that nice big pencil stretch. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach it up. Call it the pencil stretch because it reminds me of learning to swim when you jump into the deep end, tall like a pencil. Exhale, hands to heart. Am I alone in that memory? Still gonna call it the pencil stretch. All right, got a couple of options for you here. Let's bend the knees, sink the hips. First, coming into our chair pose. We're all in this together. Maybe you're pressing the legs together. Maybe you heel toe the feet so that the toes are touching, heels are touching, legs are supporting one another. Beautiful little chair pose. Reach those arms out. Exhale, reach those arms back. Inhale, bring those arms forward. We talked about swimming, so we might as well just work through the arms a little more. So most gentle is just swinging the arms forward and reaching out. If you want a little more, you're bringing the arms out towards the side, more like that butterfly stroke. Swimming it out. Keep that belly button pulled in. Keep that low back nice and engaged. Legs nice and strong. Reach it out. Last one. Come on back. Bring hands to heart. And just let the body fall on the legs. Drop your head. Make your way into a nice forward fold. If you want, you can heel toe the legs a little bit farther apart. Making them nicely hip distance. All right, here's where your options come in. You do not have to flow. You can hang out in a forward fold, taking your recovery, playing around here. Or you can journey into downward dog or child's pose. Or we can do 2 flows. So any combination of those that sounds good to you, go ahead and take. Let's journey, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands firm in towards the mat. Take that big step back, pressing into that downward dog. Or you can drop the knees here, take that child's pose. Or roll into that plank position. You can drop those knees down. Exhale, lower it down. Take that inhale to press up. Roll those shoulders back and down. And make your way back into downward dog. If you don't want that second flow, you can hold out here or flow it out. Let it feel good. Exhale, lower. Inhale, nice back bend. Exhale, downward dog. So good. If you made your way into child's pose, make your way back up. Into downward dog, pressing into the hands, nice and strong. There's a look towards the front of the mat. Hop, step, jumper, tiptoe. Into forward fold. All right, look, we all made it back to forward fold. So good. Love that. I love that I discovered that. I feel good about that. I feel like that's accessible. All right, let's inhale, halfway lift. Pressing the hands just above the knees, roll those shoulders back and down. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips. If you want a little more, sweep those arms out. Beautiful chair pose. Big inhales, come up ever so slightly. Exhale, sink into it, coming a little deeper. Your choice. It's like our 3 pulses here. Come on up and lower. One more, come on all the way up. Exhale, sink into your chair pose, using those legs, pressing into the heels, and using the feet, press all the way up to standing. Reach up nice and tall. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale. Hands to heart. So good. Feeling into the toes, into the feet. Maybe giving them a nice squeeze on the mat. Standing nice and tall and strong. Shift the weight to that right side. Whoop. And start to float the left leg up. Maybe imagine holding on to that bar or that banister. Finding a point to focus in on that isn't moving. It's called a drishti point, a yoga term for it. Or a point of focus, whatever you want to call it. And then let's start to send that left foot back, landing it in our little warrior 2. And take a little moment, adjust the feet, however you need. Bending through that right knee, finding that length, pressing into the feet. Let's see if we can get both lines of direction happening here. I feel weird having my back to you guys. I do it sometimes I switch. So, all right, both lines of direction. So I'm pressing my feet outwards. I'm trying to rip my mat apart almost. And then I'm gonna zip up my inner thighs and zip up that pelvic floor, bring everything up and in, nice and strong, bending into those legs. So I've got the inward up motion, pulling in for the inner thighs, the outward motion still pressing into the sidelines and the outer lines of the legs. Bring those arms out. Take a nice big inhale and lengthen. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Beautiful, so good. Let's drop that right elbow down onto the knee. Left hand can hang out on the hip. You can reach up. You can reach over. Remember to connect in with that breath and keep pressing into the legs here. So as you might want to start to relax, become a little more passive, keep rolling top shoulder open. Keep pressing into those legs. Maybe you want to play around with reaching a hand down or just keeping a hand at bottom arm loose. So good. All right, using all the power in the legs to help float yourself back up. Beautiful warrior 2. Straighten through that front leg. Give yourself that break. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sink it back down. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, back down. Beautiful. And straighten through that right leg. Kick the hip towards the left. Feel like you have to make the little boop sound. And then reach right hand forward. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. When you feel like you're at your max, press into the legs. Maybe you might find a little more. Roll that left shoulder open. And then drop a right hand down. You can reach your right arm up. Right knee, you can have a gentle bend to it. Or even a significant bend. This is very similar to that extended side angle. Only difference is the leg is straight. Beautiful hamstring stretch. Maybe a little inner thigh stretch. So good. Reaching up nice and tall. All right, I'm gonna bring that left hand coming into my little twisted triangle, lowering it down towards the leg, aligning my shoulders forward, rolling that right hip back. And feet can adjust however they need to. My block is out of reach, and that's okay though. So if you want a little more, keep straightening through that leg, keep pressing in. I'm gonna heel till my back a little bit closer. Oh, there we go. And then left hand plants in, right arm reaches up. Wonderful, nice twist. In our triangle pose. So much through the legs, they're so nice and strong. Beautiful rotation through the spine. Excellent, nice big breath. Let's remember to breathe. And on that exhale, drop that right hand back down. Excellent. Bring a bend to that knee, shoulders still pointing forward if you want. Sweep all the way up to that warrior two. I'm going to switch my feet so I'm back at the front of my mat. Maybe you heel toe that back foot a little closer. A nice big step towards the top. Inhale, reach it up. Nice and strong. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach it up. Maybe you interlace the hands, coming to steeple. Pull those low ribs in, pull that belly button in. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips. Coming into that chair pose. Coming into maybe your little swimming stroke. Maybe your right hand goes back, left hand reaches forward. And complete the circle, switching the hands. Right hand reaching forward, left hand back. Going opposite directions. Actually, keep reaching. Right hand forward, left hand back. And let's go the opposite direction. Do a little backstroke here. Right hand or left hand comes forward, right hand goes back. Switch it. One more time. So good. Bring both hands forward. Exhale. Come into your forward fold. Dropping the body down. Karina, does it remind you of all that swim practice we used to do in high school? So good. We did like 6 a.m. swim practice before school. I don't know how she ever convinced me to do it. Maybe through the bonds of friendship. It was fun though. No regrets. I loved it. All right, let's inhale. Nice little halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, take a big step back. Last flow options for the class, or you can take that child's pose. But here's our last two before we settle in and unwind. So come into your plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press it up. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Then meet back in downward dog. Pressing in. Last one, coming to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. I'm going to take a little moment and savor because it feels so good. Nice little back bend. And then exhale. Back into downward dog. So good. Excellent. Let's drop the knees down nice and wide, coming into our child's pose. If you were in child's pose while we were flowing, you can always mix it up. You can walk the hands, hand over hand. Adding a little side stretch in. Take a few breaths here. Feeling good. If you've got the side stretch in, walk hand over hand back through center and over towards the other side. Feeling that opening through the underarm or through the ribs. So good. Beautiful. Start to come on back to center. And start to slowly press into the hands. Come on up. Make our way into a nice reclined position. Roll on back and down. I see another big comment here. 2K. That's great. All right, making your way onto your back, knees bent, feet planted. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. Excellent. We'll come into a little twist here, so bring those arms out wide to a T. If you have a favorite twist, by all means, go ahead and do it. And I'm just going to cross left leg over right, just hanging out with crossed legs, and drop the legs down towards the right. So however they fall is good. Keep that left shoulder blade planted in, maybe gaze goes towards the left. You want a little more, right hand comes up. If you plant that left foot, knee comes up, maybe even open up through the knee. That's a nice IT band stretch. So if you'd rather do that than their super twisty spine twist, that's totally a wonderful option, especially if you imagine relaxing that left hip down. Beautiful stretch through the IT band. Or as that left leg drops in towards the floor and you roll more onto that right hip, you'll accentuate the twist, deepening it. So dealer's choice, and you're the dealer, so you get to choose. Beautiful. Take a nice big inhale. See if you can lengthen a little. Exhale. See if you can soften. Return the head to neutral. And with control, nice and slow, start to bring those legs back up. Try not to take too much of the curtain with you. Uncross. And cross right leg over left. And drop the legs down towards the left, keeping that right shoulder planted in. Hand can come on top, or you can do the IT band stretch. Right foot plants in, knee opens up. Even if you use a little helping hand. Try to find a little softness through the pose. Maybe gaze goes to the right. Maybe you keep rolling onto that left hip to try to deepen through the stretch. Take that nice big inhale. See if you can lengthen ever so slightly. Exhale. See if you can soften. So good. Return the head to neutral. Let go of the legs if you're holding on. Swing them on up. Uncross. And hug the knees in towards the chest. Or you can reach out through the knees for the feet coming into that happy baby. Feet go up in the air, knees draw in towards the body. Take a little rock from side to side. Feeling that spine reset. Keep that chin nice and tucked. And if there's any other pose or movement that your body is craving before we settle into our Shavasana, you're more than welcome to take it. Even if you just want to explore a little creativity, that's okay. It doesn't have to be an official yoga pose. I do non-yoga poses in my yoga all the time. And I've never had the yoga police show up. So, excellent. If you're just ready to settle into Shavasana, that's also an option. You can extend the legs nice and long. Or you can do reclined cobbler. I have no rules for my Shavasana at the end. However you want to find yourself. I like the little box arms. As long as you can create some openness and some softness. Knees can be bent if you like that low back pressing in. I actually much prefer that. I wish I had a little bolster at home that I could tuck under the legs. You know what I mean? Like under the knees. So I like to sit up so it doesn't just look like I'm sleeping on camera. And then this way I can chat for just a moment. Start to connect in with the breath. Take a nice big inhale. Fill the lungs. Exhale. Let it go. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths that exhale to a sigh. So don't be afraid to let your voice or your breath be audible. So breathe it in nice and deep. Exhale. Let it out. Big inhale breath. Exhale, sigh it out. So good. One more big breath in, really lengthen, really fill the lungs and the diaphragm. And exhale, giant sigh. Beautiful. Take a couple of moments to maybe scan through the body. Enjoy that peace, that sensation that you've created. Maybe noticing how you feel after class versus before class. Let it be really good. Whatever it is. Should you need to roll up and go, that's always an option. But I started talking about ego, and I was even able to bring it up in our forward fold with the bent knees. I really like yoga because it challenges ego so much. It's like one of the only non-competitive like sports or activities that we're in. We're not even trying to compete with ourselves, because how we show up each day can be totally different. Maybe you have an injury, or maybe you've healed from an injury and you can go a little deeper. And so there really is no sense or element of like no pain, no gain. Like that exists in so many places, but it absolutely does not exist in the yoga world. And I really love that, because the goal is to never push yourself that hard that you're in pain, because it's actually quite disrespectful to your body. You're always hurting it. And how are you ever supposed to heal it and to strengthen and grow? You don't have to live in that world of pain. You don't have to punish yourself just to get better at something. It's kind of an interesting way at trying to do life. You can have a challenge, you can be uncomfortable, and that's where growth starts to happen. And so if you struggle in yoga class thinking no pain, no gain, or have to look a certain way, my challenge to you is see if you can really let that go and enjoy the freedom of how you're feeling in the practice. I've loved this quarantine time because I have an at-home practice now, and although I'm following an instructor, there's lots of other people watching, there's no expectation for me to work really hard. I can just sit there, take a little break, and watch her do all the work for a little bit, or I can really give her and go the extra mile and take what I need. So I give you permission to have that freedom in your own practice. So that is my 2 cents for today. I hope that that not only applies to your yoga practice, but also off the mat as well. So continue to enjoy your Shavasana. Take all the time you need, connecting in with the breath, maybe meditating or hanging out. Maybe this is the only peace and quiet or stillness, even if it's not quiet, that you will get today. So I hope it's wonderful and good. Thank you guys so much for joining me this Saturday morning. It's so delightful. I hope that the rest of your day is filled with joy. And as always, I pray that you're always blessed. Thank you and namaste. Beautiful.